Today we've got the very interesting Buddha belly plant. This was on my wish list for several years. We're really excited to have these back in the store, or should I say in the store for the very first time. It's poly-filled right now, getting ready to go out for shipment. As soon as we put these online, they sold out immediately. So I grabbed this one from the shipping counter so we could talk about the care for these really quickly. Okay, first of all, you need to know that these have to have very bright light. They have to have that really nice wide view of the sky. Get down at your plant's level, look to the left and right. You want to see nothing but unobstructed blue sky. As far as watering goes, take a look right here. We've got this nice, big, thick trunk. What does it mean when our plants have really thick trunks? This is a water storing, drought-tolerant adaptation that this plant has. So it stores water actually in these nice trunks. So we let all of the soil dry out in between watering. So you let all of the soil dry out and then you soak all of the soil. Drought flood is the name of the game for these, especially in the winter months when our days are much shorter. There's not as much water processing time, so you have to make sure 100% that this is going to be, the soil is dry between watering. Now, if you're ever unsure, if you're not 100% sure, like if this is dry or if it's not, wait a little bit longer. Wait another week or something. They're very, very drought tolerant, but they're less tolerant to being too wet for too long, for example. Let's take a look at both the leaves right here. So these leaves are going to be growing throughout the spring and the summer months. That's when their growing season is. But in the fall and the winter months, don't be alarmed if all your leaves fall off. That's perfectly normal. That's kind of the life cycle of this plant. Now, what is interesting about this is the plant will flower. You can come up close. Look at these little flowers that we have going on right here. They'll be a sort of a coral, orangish, reddish color. These will flower off and on year round, even in the winter time when you might not have any leaves. So the plant could totally be big old Buddha belly down here with no leaves at all, but flowers still coming out. It's kind of neat that way. Don't worry too much about fertilizing. They're not really, really heavy fertilizers, but I would recommend doing it a couple of times throughout the spring and the summer months with just a general purpose houseplant fertilizer, like a 10-10-10 or a 15-15-15. Now, I want you to repot these whenever the roots are coming out of the bottom drainage holes right here, okay? Or every 1 to 2 years, just to do a little soil refresh. And because the plant stores so much water in its trunks, we want to use something that drains very sharply. I recommend a potting cactus soil or succulent soil for these. But that's going to do it for the care instruction for the super interesting Buddha belly plant. If you have any questions about this baby, let me know in the comments below, or if you've grown it before, I want to hear the tips that you've got.